something really cool today, and something you don't actually get to see all the time, and that is to get into the mind of a creative and very successful Facebook advertiser to find out how you can actually learn this art and science of getting results to the tune of like 10 to 1. I mean, that means putting $1 in, getting $10 out, which is quite funny to us because we've actually spoken to a few Facebook ad agencies, and after paying sort of up to $2,000 a month to have them manage your ads, their guarantee is about $2 to $3 return for every dollar spent. So when we've actually come across Dirk Cheatwood, the CEO and founder of Social Ad Smash, and we saw the results he was getting, on top of this amazing software that's been created to help the entrepreneur and the small business owner be able to get a handle on this and do this themselves without paying those huge agency fees. It's like, we've got to get into this creative mind and find out how the hell to do this. So this is kind of a bit of an over-the-shoulder, I guess you call it mentoring session. And we are so grateful that Dirk, you're giving us this time to do this. Yeah. So first of all, questions of how long have you been doing Facebook ads and what prompted you to create this amazing software? Dirk Cheatwood, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you, ladies. You guys are the bomb as always. So I guess it really started with me. I started to advertise about 6 years ago. Almost right when Facebook started, I don't know if it was 7 or 8 years ago where they launched their actual ad platform, but very shortly thereafter, I did a book called Soap Dishes, the Cookbook. And it was a cookbook, and, and I was kind of new to the platform and started to understand very quickly the difference between search advertising on Facebook and what I like to call suggestive advertising Google, I meant to say, sorry, search on Google, and suggestive advertising on Facebook. And now we have Instagram and, Pinterest and other things out there. But the power of that is obviously search has always been very powerful in that, hey, I need to go get my car washed, and you could, look it up and it's going to tell you in your local area what's there. But the thing that I love about Facebook, and I learned early on, was if you can understand the targeting, which obviously you guys know that there's nobody better than Facebook at collecting data. They are the biggest, make no mistake about it, they're the biggest data collectors they're the 800-pound gorilla. So obviously you guys all understand where we're at with Facebook now. So you can take, and as I told you ladies, I like to work backwards. I don't like to think about a good product first. I like to think about an audience that's going to buy. Right. And then I like to put a product in front of that audience that's going to buy. So moms are very powerful buyers. And there's a lot of different buyer profiles that are very profitable. But, there are so many Shopify stores popping up now, and I'm going to be, completely honest that the once being able to go out there and put, life straw that you can drink water out of a puddle and, survive in the wilderness used to be a cool thing to see, but now you've got to be a little bit more selective because, and I think we're all seeing that e-com is getting very big. Mm. So research and cost to spend is going to tell you a lot about what you're doing and if you have the chance for it to be profitable now early on. So that's where Social Ad Smash came in. I started to run campaigns for big companies. I drove leads for a company called Clover, does the POS system, First Data, and I was able to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I started to use a different software that was somewhat like what I created with Social Ad Smash that was costing me $2,000 a month. And this is no joke. And so I luckily had hooked up with a really good group of programmers that are my friends and my partners now in some projects that we have together. But I said, hey, how long would it take us to create something that has this, does this, this, and this, helps the average person that's going to advertise on Facebook, from the guy who comes in who's never run an ad before to the guy who's spending $2 million a month. What is that? I understand what it is, but how long will it take us to build it? And he was like, 3 months. Well, here we are a year and a half later and it's done.
Always the way with development.
But the best part is that when you actually first walked us all through it, I mean, and the website has a video walkthrough and the understanding of what it is. And the two key things for me is massive time saving.
Yeah.
Creating the ads. And the other side of it is it's actually, excuse the French, but a shit ton more intuitive than what Facebook is, because Facebook itself, the ads manager there, not only is it always changing, but it's actually really difficult to navigate. And I have a feeling that's on purpose. But they're kind of almost as bad as Google now with the whole how difficult it is to get around.
Have you ever called a Google? I've called a Google rep like early on, and even friends, like they can feel like, first of all, that you know what they care about? Selling ad space. They don't care about your, I don't want to say they don't care, but you're right. There's a lot of levers and buttons in Facebook, and like, should I click this one, or what happens if I don't click that one? Or they do that on purpose because, you know, if they have, you know, there's just a lot of complexity to it. So what we did was boil down the power editors where the professional advertisers live, I would say. And we put that inside of Social Ad Smash, as you guys have seen, that it's a very simple format. So I'll just kind of jump into it and just give you guys a quick overview. And then if you want to get a little bit more specific, you can with, let me get my daggone page here, figure out what the heck I'm doing with my life right now.
Social Ad Smash software works best on Chrome.
Yes, Chrome is optimized. It's optimized for Chrome. It should work on Firefox too, but just to be safe, you know, Chrome. Now, you ladies know that I told you that we are right in the middle of creating and launching some new stuff. So for everybody who's watching this right now, Social Ad Smash really wasn't supposed to be launched until now or even at the first of the year. But we actually have had a lot of adopters of the platform. We have about 280 or 300 people using the platform as of right now. And I haven't even started to market yet because we still have a good group and I'm building some very cool stuff. And then I'm going to kind of come out to the world, so to speak. And, but you guys are getting like a little sneak peek of what I've been able to do and build with the program now. So I'm going to log.
It's exciting.
It's very cool.
In here. Now we have a really cool reporting section that just we released the first beta version, and then the next one's coming. But to show you guys want me to show you like the inside of I'm going to just show you from Facebook's perspective right now because it'll help you guys understand a little bit of what it is. This is November 1st. This is one of the programs, guys, that I manage, and you know, these are all ads that I created on Social Ad Smash. And I'm going to go to my performance here. Big D. I like to call myself Big Dirk sometimes. So welcome to my, you know, my alias. But here you go. So you can just kind of see, this is just my Facebook spend. I haven't showed you guys my what I've been able to do on Instagram as well. But, you know, so here's a $26,000 ad spend that returned $95,647.14. $273,000 was added to cart, which with the, you know, abandoned cart program, depending on what platform you're using, a lot of this comes back because you hit them with offers. So really, I've caught $273,000 in my net for 26,000, and I'll regain a really good portion of this here by the time I rake that audience through my different processes. Abandoned cart being a really big one. And then these are the people that actually said, yeah, not only am I going to add to my cart, but this is what I'm going to check out. You know, I'm going to initiate my checkout. And then I lost all of that except for $95,000. I lost all of it there. But this is the actual people that just went right through right away and joined. All
right. Well, see, even that's roughly what, 3.5 to 1 there, just even on that 20.
Yeah, exactly.
95. So, but like you say, the how you can go back and retarget those people as well is where it's going to.
Yeah, you know, I think most people have to realize that a lot of people are looking for that initial funnel that's going to convert people on the first opt-in, and it doesn't. It comes through education. and different levels of targeting. So let me just take you into Social Ad Smash and kind of show you a concept. Let's go to, this is a big campaign I ran for a merchant processing company. Excuse me. Now there are these types of ads. Now, if you've been inside of Facebook, you know that a link ad, and again, I'll be shooting very descriptive videos. There's actually going to be a choose right here, and then it's going to have training video, another button right here. So all you will do is click it, and it will actually demonstrate exactly what a link ad is for anybody who doesn't know. Of course, people who are advertised know, but there's a lot of people who don't know, and we want to make this a very easy user platform for everyone. But a link ad is basically a ghost ad, which means it does not live on any fan page. It is an ad that comes from a fan page, but doesn't exist anywhere except in an ad space.
Right.
A page post ad can be both live on the fan page, and you can drive traffic to it, and you can also do an unpublished page post. The difference in these two is you're able to see, if you're testing like just a picture, you're able to test up to 5 here, as you ladies know. And then we're going to go down to merchant setup. So this would be a link ad. Now, in this example, this is a 1200 by 627. If you look right here, here are the ad size that for an optimal display on Facebook with a link ad, it is that sizing that you need right there, right? And then if you don't know how to create an ad, I would tell you guys to go to Fiverr and find somebody that creates Facebook ads. You can go to Canva.
Yep.
Like it says it's on. Can you guys still see me okay?
Yeah, so when you say ad, it's actually like the creative for...
Yes, when I mean this little creative gem right here, you could go to whatever it is that you're running a marketing campaign for. You can see I'm testing each different image here.
Right.
So this will create 5 different ads with, if I want to, 3 different headlines, 3 different messages, and 3 different headlines. So you can imagine this is a very simple, if you were to do this inside of Facebook, it would take you forever, and you would probably, and that's always what I stress with people is, you know, you have to understand what is converting very early, especially if you're going to be putting real dollars out there. And everything's relevant to people, whether it's $10 a day or $30 a day. You don't want to, maybe this ad right here and this headline right here, or this message and that headline are the winner. But you would never know it if you hadn't went in there and created all of these different ads, all of these different variations. And as you saw, all I had to do is click here and click, setup.
Can I just go back on there with regards to going out to Fiverr and saying, so you give them a concept. It's like, okay, I need to show this point of sale machine, and I can only have a percentage of text because Facebook only allows you a certain percentage of text. So you just kind of gave them some directive, like, and obviously you've got 5 totally different types of images.
Well, yeah, let me, so Fiverr's good for a lot of things, and ads is one of them. A lot of people do their own ads on Canva, and I don't know if you ladies are familiar with Canva. Of course, you've heard of it. Yeah, of course you are. So, but if you want it, like, I believe that, in light of Tim Ferriss and the 4-hour work week, which really doesn't exist anymore, but I just believe in outsourcing things you're not good at. So yes, I would find somebody that that does ads. Obviously, Fiverr is a great spot because it can be pretty inexpensive.
Yep.
And you can still find somebody that's got a good deal of experience and professional, and all you'd have to type in is Facebook ad creation, and you're going to get, recommended users. I personally have my own graphics person.
Right.
I choose not to spend a lot of time on this stuff. So yeah, what I'm trying to do is understand, and this is where your marketing mind comes in, is, whatever it is that you're trying to convey to somebody, maybe it's done better in a picture. If you have the ability to use video is, everyone knows it converts like, 80 or 90%, especially if it's an engaging video. I would recommend, like a, 30 seconds to a minute video clip if you're going to use video, but it all comes down to knowing what creative people are going to respond to. And this is the process in which, this is the how, and you bring the what.
Right.
And right? And so in this example right here, I'm going to max this out, and this would probably be if I were going to launch a new concept or I was going to rebrand something that I was doing. I just clicked out of that. So I'll just go right here and I'll just add this little guy right there.
Nice.
And you ladies know it's a very simple user platform. You just swap, you can remove it. Maybe you know. So I'm going to explain this first thing. First, I would go out with all of these pictures and all of these headlines. And then once I discover what my winner is, obviously I would just go shut the ones off that aren't going. And that's a little bit of a different concept, but I'll just pretend for your sake that this would be what I want to test. So let's just go through it. Okay, here's my 5 images that I had created on Fiverr, and I gave them direction. I said, here's an example of an ad that I kind of want to use. I want to use this background. I want to put a couple holding hands, in the foreground. And then you go get that picture off Shutterstock, and you give them the components of the layers of the ad that you want, depending on what it is you're after. So I told them, hey, here's the equipment we're advertising. I want to put Apple Pay here to my graphic designer. I need to put these logos down here. I need to put the name of the company here. I'm going to be testing, 5 different. So what's so cool about this is I'm instantly able to see right off the bat out of all these pictures and what is going to perform. It's so exciting when you launch something like this. Okay. So I'm going to go down here and, my awesome site, it's not going to let me put that in there because, all right, there it is. And then you just put your learn more, whatever it is here. Remember, you don't have to test all these things. You can test 2 if you want.
And just another point out is you've actually got the emojis in each of those messages. I did actually read a study saying that people are engaged by them.
So you've just found those and cut and paste them into your text there.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, emojis are super powerful. And this is more of an example that I'm showing you. And I have used all these creatives before. This is real stuff. But what I did here for just the sake of, being able to train people on that, absolutely. You should use emoji, line, and then a space, and then another emoji and a line, and space, and another emoji and a line if you want, but at least 2 emojis.
Right.
And they find that they're really effective at the beginning because right away, what does that tell you? Money.
Yes.
Right. So instead of sticking it here where I think it might make sense, right here, it's like, oh, money. Okay, what are they saying? Stop spending money on, stop signs. Yeah. So good little tip there. Good job bringing that up. I'm trying to cover so much, so sometimes I forget stuff. That's why I have you both here to help me.
That's it.
And then once you get down here, you can go ahead and click Preview Creative. And I know if you haven't seen this before, this is a really powerful thing because what it does is it's going to go and build every variation of all of those ads that we just built up top there. And this works in every program from carousel to video ad, and obviously to your page post ad, and we'll get to that next. So now you get an idea of get to see, and it's very simply laid out. Again, if you were going to Facebook and you were trying to create I'm a very experienced advertiser, and you ladies, we've spoke about this before, where I go in as an experienced Facebook advertiser, and I'm like, oh my God, they changed everything. Where do I go? What is that? Okay, that goes there now, and that goes there. It's so frustrating. So,
well, if I could just point out, because I'm sort of the master at dumbing things down. Maybe I'm a dummy, I don't know. But the experience that I've had prior to seeing what Social Ad Smash can do, not just from the creative aspect, but as you say, the testing, because even if, like in this mission of ours today was to try and get into the creative mind of you to sort of see the art and science of putting these ads on, this is the science part, because you really, even if you have the best idea of what colors and what image this particular audience is going to go for, you're never going to know unless you test it. So that's where the science comes in. So in Facebook, if you're just using Facebook on its own and you're trying to just play with 1, maybe 2 ads to 2 images to split test against, maybe 2 headlines to split test against, the time in going into that, let alone the money, because you don't know how much money it's going to cost to find out which one works or doesn't work. And that's only if you've got the mindset of split testing. Most of us just go out and put 1 ad on And then if
Have to
it
go, it
doesn't
works.
convert, it doesn't work, we run back away with our tail between our legs going, oh, Facebook ads doesn't work. I'm not going to do that again. That was a waste of money. And yet every single entrepreneur and small business owner that we've spoken to in the last 3 years have said that Facebook advertising has been a game changer for their business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Good. Really, really good point to point all of that out, because there are so many. You've all seen the video or the cartoon of the guy who's like digging for gold, and there's two guys, and one guy's above and one guy's below, and the one guy is literally stops like one pickaxe short of hitting the mother lode that's just on the other side. Have you seen that before?
Yes. Yeah.
So we all understand that analogy, and I can tell you for a fact, even my own personal use, and many people that I know, that had it not been for their split testing, they would have left $1 million on the table.
Wow.
And and it's Russell likes to say you're one funnel away, and I like to say you're one campaign away. Yes, you have to have a converting funnel, but you are one winning campaign away from understanding a direction of scaling and the vibe and the feel of the direction your brand is going. And if you don't know what people are responding to, and you're right, it's a very daunting thing, and it's very scary to people when they're like, oh, I don't know. So we just make it easy. All you have to do is bring your creative, try some different conceptual stuff. And as you have seen here, you can even put a little emoji down here in your headlines, which are very powerful. And these are just all the different examples. You can see how it's created every single different variation. And you ladies have done this several times.
And that was done with a click of a button. So.
Yeah,
one click of a button. I mean, you put all your creative in, you press preview, and remember, this is just showing you what it looks like if I were going to go, maybe I'm only going to run this on desktop. Maybe I'm only going to run this on mobile. Maybe I'm only going to run it on desktop right column. And I can explain that, why you would do each and where your best cost is going to be for each one of these. Each one of these has a very important role to play, but I'll tell you that this is going to show you what it would look like if you were to run it. So don't think that it's going to create all these ads. It will, depending, maybe if you just chose desktop, it's going to create all these different variations for you on desktop. Right. And if you said, I want to do all three, well, then it would allow you to do all three. And I'm going to show you guys that next. And I know that you guys already know that, the explainer video, but since we're here, let's just go through it real quick.
Yeah. So
there, you've completely maxed out your creative. Now we're going to go down to select your targeting. And remember, if you want to save it, this is what's so genius about it. And it just saves your whole creative here in just one. So, we could call this new test, what is today, November 1st, November 1, whatever. You could call it whatever you knew it was. Save, automatically just save this entire setup for you. So the next time you come back, all you'd have to do is press test November 1. And if you came back and loaded that, maybe you're like, hey, I know which ads are now. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. This headline and that didn't work. And these were my winners right here.
Yep.
So now I've just moved from testing. This is how you scale. Right. So these are my two winners. This is my message that crushed it. And these are my two. So now I'm going to test these two against each other, right?
Yeah.
So this is just I'm showing you a quick test and scale method. So you could go down here and call this, scale method 1. Whatever you want to call it. And then boom, right? And so now the next time I have all these setups in here, so I can always just jump back, because maybe I would have forgotten what this would have looked like because I changed it. But now it's all saved. It's right here. And this is my scale method. So this is super powerful. And I want to show you kind of the different ways I use this up here and other people use it. So there's that. And now we're going to go into selective targeting.
Sorry, just with the call to action you've got there, is there one call to action that you're using over others that you're finding is getting more results?
Yeah, well, once you find your two top performers, or maybe it's 3, then I just kind of let those 3 fight it out, right? And then I go, and then I'm going to get into the budgeting section of it here in a second. So I give you an idea of kind of what I.
Are you talking about the call to action, like either
learn more,
Oh, right, I
buy
see what
buy now, that the drop down menus that
Let's
you've
go
got,
back to that. So all you have
which
to
are
do
different depending on the ad that you're putting on. I know
exactly learn more, sign up, download. I mean, whatever you want your call. You don't have to do any call to action.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I've tested them both, and people are smart enough to know to click on a picture if they want to get into it or access it. So I've seen it be just about the same. But I like to be also, if you're advertising to someone to shop now, then they're automatically programmed that they're going to go buy something, or they're in that mindset of add to cart, shop now. So I like to use a definitive call to action. If you're running something that's like for you ladies in your concept, maybe it's learn more, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then people are like, oh, cool. Yeah, I want to learn more about that. So for me, even though it's like a quick little button, each one of them I've tested and for different objectives. So, and we'll be adding a bunch more here too, by the way, which is cool. Facebook came out with some new ones, and we're going to be incorporating them as well. Yep. These are the top ones that anyone uses, but we're going to be able to get very granular, like eat lunch in 10 minutes.
That would be cool.
So let's jump over to select targeting. Again, I can just go up here and I could just choose my, my targeting. And this is the power of our platform too. This is all of the stuff that you have available in Power Editor and Ads Manager for that matter. But we've laid it out in a very simple to understand way. So people aren't, confused as to, whoops, sorry. So we just added this, by the way. If you have, let's see if are you ladies working with lookalike audiences? And
we haven't done an add to a lookalike audience because we did have questions for you about that.
But we do have them
cover that
ready.
Yeah, we'll cover that when you guys are ready. But let's say you had custom audiences and lookalike audiences here. You could actually put them all in here because you wouldn't test interest and lookalike audiences at the same time. Like, let's say you had 5 lookalike audiences. You could put up to 5 lookalike audiences or custom audiences up here and split test them. Just like
wow, that was a question we had because we didn't know whether we could do, say, in our case, our lookalike house sitting audience and our custom house sitting audience. Like, could we run ads to them that way?
So you can do multiple audiences.
You sure can. What I would recommend is if you're going to I would test, you can test lookalike against custom. Yeah, you can do that. But if I were you, I would test apples against apples because, I would test 2 lookalike audiences against each other. Maybe you create a 1% and a 2% of the same audience.
Okay.
Obviously the 1% is going to supposed to perform better. But maybe you're getting more reach with the 2%. So, or you could create 2 different, a 1% audience from your one targeting and another 1% audience from another set of targeting. And then I would split test both of those 1%ers.
All right.
Okay. So can you just explain what a 1% and a 2% is for
Yeah. So when you, for example, when you go to,
just while you're looking that up with the audience insights stuff there, or the because when I did it the other day, we had a pixel that had fired off one of our pages. We had enough data. I think you need like 1,000 or something for it to find a lookalike audience. But then it created this lookalike audience saying, do you want the top 1% of most relative to your audience, or the top 2 or 5 or whatever it was? But it came out with a huge number. It was like 2.1 million people.
Yeah. So it's always 2.1. 1% will always be 2.1 million or 1.9. It's
okay.
So what they're doing is they chunk it up like that. So from 1% to obviously 1 being most similar and 10 being reach.
Right.
But yeah, so 1% is, and I mean, you're asking really good questions because it's all really relevant. You can do, like, let me show you an example of something here. And I don't want to jump off topic. And if I am, I'm notorious for doing that. So
that's all right. We'll bring it back.
Okay. So for example, here's a 1%, here's a 1% audience right here, okay?
Mhm.
Now, let's just say I'm not gonna test this audience another one. I'm just gonna use this one, right? So let me go down here and uncheck this one right here, because that was another thing that I was doing. So right now, let's see, let's see here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Lookalike. I think I might have clicked around too much. There's something else that I must have chosen. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's why.
Oh,
So if I
especially
were to,
this, yeah.
yeah, let me just take all these off real quick, and then I'll pull it back up. I'm gonna click out all these. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. And then I'm going to go up here, and there's some other setting that it's oh, I took it away. There you go.
Right.
Okay, so so there's something else here. What is it? One ad set for
You got an age range?
Age range, would that be?
maybe that's what I did. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. But my point is if I were to go through this, your 1% audience is gonna come up with like 1.7, 1.9, 2.1 million.
Mhm.
And you could just run that straight. I call that going naked.
Right.
And you have enough data on your pixel, which means you want to between at least 50 is the minimum conversions you want on a pixel to make a custom audience from it. Most likely 100.
Mhm.
Anything over 100, you can go create your 1% audience, and I'll show you. You can do all that inside of Social Ad Smash, but I'm just going to very quickly show you here because I'm on this right now. Create custom conversion, create custom audience. So you could go. Right, you could create an audience based on the different where you have your pixel placed in your cart. So if you wanted to create a 1% audience of purchasers, you would obviously click there. You always go 180 days. Whoops, sorry. 180 days. There you go. And then you would name it very simply, purchase 180 days, whatever, on that pixel. And then you would click create audience. Very simple, right?
Mhm.
So each time that you obviously make sure you put your pixel in, anybody who's hearing this, you have to have your pixel installed in whatever type of store that you start immediately, because you want to
a website, a funnel landing
It's the
page,
first thing you do.
an opt-in landing page, anything.
You have to do it. And it's real simple. You just kind of go up here, you go to your pixel, right? And then you can, it's the first time you're setting it up, it literally walks you through it. So you could, details.
There's one that's called like a basic pixel or something, is it? Is that the one?
Well, there's the code, it just needs to be installed and like set up. See, it's right here. So you can manually, if you want to manually install it yourself, there's directions right here. You can send it to a developer if you're like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so put it in. It's pretty simple. If you use any of these, Magento or Shopify or anything, it automatically integrates all of your events into your platform, which you don't, it's on autopilot. So the most important, 5 most important events that you need will automatically be locked in there for you.
Very cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. So getting back to this thing right here, I want to show you. So I'm going to do like the five different setups of that. So look like audiences, if you know how to use them, you know what you're doing on that. What I mean by that is you have a concept, and we should save that for another time where we're directly getting into 1% audiences, because that's kind of a big thing, and it's not really hard. It's just, there's a theory behind it. So
it's the conceptual aspect of it is a whole new learning level too.
Yeah, it's exciting too, because when you get to a 1% audience, it can be it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're talking about initially testing right now to get to that 1% audience. And how do you get to that 1% audience? By knowing what's converting and spending your money where you're getting conversions that are going to allow you to create those audiences.
Right.
So basically, then, so my targeting is already set up. So as you can see, I have created total 20 ads will be created, 5 ad sets will be created. Each ad set has 4 ads, right? So it'll always tell you what your targeting is here. And I don't know if I covered this, but this is my interest area. So this is the power of this too. So not only are you creating all of those ads up top there, remember all of the creative that we just created. Now we're going to test the interest part. So let's say these are the top 5 interests that I want to test that have anything to do with, you know, I think these are, people are going to respond to my ads above in these demographics. So rather than lumping them all together in 29 million people, which is obviously too much, what if point of sale is the one that does it, or line of credit is my winner? I wouldn't know that if I group these all together, right? So that would be like, maybe these 3 are wasting all my money and these 2 are my winners, but I wouldn't know that unless I clicked split interest. Now it's just created a separate ad set for each one of these interests here. Now this is still too many, but I could start to refine it a little bit if I want, and saying, you know, also like you saw me type, and also small business administration, for example. I'll just put that in there.
And I can just double check with you, just a dumb down moment, is when you're a Facebook user, these are the things that you've either joined a group on, or that you've selected as one of your interests in your profile,
or you've liked,
or liked is like Facebook sort of starting to gather all that data of even something you've looked at or clicked on. Is that what it's doing as well, or is it what
here's how Facebook gets your interest? Yeah, they obviously know the stuff you put on your page, but Facebook puts a pixel on you. When you go to Facebook, they follow you around the internet forever. They know what you're clicking on Google. They know what you're searching. They know your buying habits. They know everything. So
they even know what stores you're going into. We heard, like,
exactly where you access your phone from. Will send this person's in Nordstrom's right now.
Yep.
So they know everything. So when this targeting comes up, it is based on so many different data. But it's the best targeting out there. I mean, it's literally, you know. You can put your message in front of the right people and you have a compelling offer, you can become wealthy, you know, you can crush a funnel and, you know, and once you find something that's converting, it becomes about how much money you can spend, you know, and
I just need to point out to any of our audience watching this as well, becoming wealthy quickly versus the way I started in my learning the online space was actually to do content marketing and social media marketing, etc. This has been just such an eye-opener when it comes to how much time it takes to do it the long, slow kind of SEO or social way, versus just going straight out and getting a great offer in front of your ideal customer.
Audience. Yeah.
If you don't own your audience and you can't demand traffic when you want, you don't have a real business.
Yeah.
You know, SEO and stuff is an awesome channel or a layer to your business, but you know, I don't say SEO is dead. I mean, if you're doing the right thing on your blog or whatever it is that you're working on, then it will naturally rank because, you know, Google will understand that it's getting traffic and people are clicking on it. But you want to be able to control your business. You don't want to be, you know, a boat in the ocean with no sail and it just goes wherever. And that's really the power of this is once you own your audience and your traffic, you have a real scalable business, especially once you understand what's working. So this is a very powerful part of, in the interest area right here. Again, you would just choose your stuff, what you're targeting. And again, we've went over this before with actually going on to audience insights. So I don't know what level everyone's going to be at, but
all right, maybe just a parameter. If you've got 4 ad sets here, what would be the lowest you would want in a group of people, and what would be the highest you'd want in a group of people?
Yeah, so 70 is obviously not, you know, because I put this weird overlay in it. You would just want to play with it. I mean, if you're showing 100,000 to 150,000 people, it's pretty good. Even 80,000 could be decent, but I generally try to find, you know, like if I undid this, I would say anything from I mean, if this one's 48,000, this one's 140,000, this is actually pretty good. This right here is, you know, I would just, it's not really worth testing if I'm being honest. It's only 70 people. So I'd probably kill that one like this. You know, and then it'll just reboot, and then I would go, okay, yeah, this one's really not much. So I would either add some more up here, but you want to do this when you've got hundreds of thousands of in each. I'd say 150 to 500,000, and it's okay if this one's 200,000, this one's 700,000, this one's 300,000.
Yep.
That's still good. That's going to give you an understanding of maybe the 300,000's outperforming the 700,000 because it's more of a passionate niche.
Mm-hmm.
So, or a more passionate interest. And you're like, wow, that one's performing better than the one that has twice the audience. So that's how you kind of use this right here. You can test up to 5, which I wouldn't recommend testing over 5 because then you're going to cost yourself a lot of money.
Yep.
So, so right here, here's 5 interests, right? And I did an overlay, and I showed you ladies this before. I've done some really cool stuff here where you can click on. I've broke out separate little targeting options where frequent travelers, small business owners, Facebook payment users, technology early adapters. There's a lot of money. If you just go through here and research these things, you're going to find some crazy stuff. Click on advanced demographics, people who work for, you can target for people who work for, like you can see the examples I put here, software engineer, for example, construction, family status, relationship demographics, huge money here, huge money here.
Well, what we found with our first little test, because we did the 5 ad sets with what we thought was interest, etc., is our women age group, 45 to 54 age group.
We have such a strong demographic.
I guess when we start focusing in on that, then we start not only lowering our costs but actually getting really niched.
Absolutely, great point. And then once you start living in that space, you know what they're responding to, and you can start to really hunker down, and know that that's your base, your control, and then you can start to test other things.
Yep.
And then there's also like the matching income. So just go through here and look at this stuff. This stuff's really great to add in for targeting. You'd pick an interest. You'd say, I only want these people and this, and they have to make, I want to target people, or I want to test people that make, 50,000 and over. So it's going to add that to the rest of this. It'll add this 50,000 to all 4 of these ad sets. You can see what it does. It starts to get very specific. So you just want to play with this stuff because it really makes a difference. Then again, you'd save your targeting just like we did up above, and bada bing, bada bang. And now that's going to be available for you to jump into at any time. And you're already on your way.
Do you ever use the partner ones there? If you just go back to.
Oh yeah, the partner. Yes, I do. The audience network, you mean? Or let's see.
Going down. Keep going. Partner categories. Do you ever use that?
Yeah. I believe I'm white labeled or whitelisted for a lot of these partner categories.
Right.
And I think they're showing up now in a lot of people's, they have different things that are available to you. But yeah, I do use this sometimes.
So this is data coming from other companies that are feeding into Facebook.
Exactly. Data Logic, Experian, Epsilon. Yeah, these are super powerful too down here. This data will actually cost you a little bit more, and you'll see that in your ad cost, just because of how they aggregate the data, and they actually purchase it.
Yeah.
And then, so it's here, but it's not necessarily their data. It's third-party data. So you pay a little bit more. I mean, it's usually nominal, but it is something to be mentioned. But yeah, this is cool. You can check this out. Sometimes you can just go target this if you want, and depending on what you're after. I've used it before. It's been great.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, overlap all connections. You can market to people who are also connected to your page. You know what I mean, down here. So if you haven't been in there yet, so each one of these is very simple, and you almost, as long as you're putting interest in right now and then split testing your interest, that's the first thing I'd recommend for anybody to do that's a beginner. So before all this other crazy stuff we're talking about, do your research on audience insights. Come here, type in your interest that you want to go target and test, and then split test them. This is like 101. Create your ads, come down here to interest. Don't worry about anything else if you're new. Take 5 ad set, five good size ad sets, or even 3, but up to 5. and then just click this little button. It'll split test it. Forget about everything else right now, and then go down to your next section, which is your campaign. Click create your campaign, new test. What's your objective? Link clicks or conversions. This is traffic for anybody that's wondering what that is. This means traffic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is going to be, I created, this is my objective is I want to go after people that are, based on what I'm about to choose down here. This makes it active. You can use custom dates. You can do day parting. We have all that cool stuff. If you want to show it at a specific time, again, first time setting it up, don't do any of that.
For now, just go up a little bit for the conversions versus the link clicks. So Facebook are choosing people that they think will convert as opposed to people that
so where this will come into play here is if I'm saying I want conversions, I want to base my conversions on this pixel, which is the purchase pixel, right? And if I wanted to do it for something else, I would do add to cart, right? And so, and again, this is more, and why do I choose one over the other? Well, there's a reason behind that. But if we're just going to keep it clean for the sake of conversation, if I were just priming a site and I didn't have 100 conversions on my pixel yet, I would be doing link clicks.
Gotcha. Okay, great.
Right. And once I created a conversion audience and my pixel was smart enough, then I would switch over to conversions. But in the beginning, it's going to be this bad boy right here.
Does that create a conversion pixel? Does it? Like when there's been 100?
Well, it doesn't. It won't create it until you create it, but it'll tell you how many pixel fires you have. Okay. Do you want me to get into that real quick?
Well, we did a little test without understanding it, and what we found was with the 5 ad sets, the conversion clicks that were coming through, it kept saying, we're learning still. We need to get to 50 before we learn enough.
So don't do conversions yet, right? So just wait till you have enough data. You have to have at least that data, and then you have to go create your audience, which we just went through. So, once you have enough, whatever of the conversion it is that you want to optimize for, so there's a top-down funnel conversion method: page view, add to cart, initiate checkout, and purchase. Mm-hmm. So here's how you do it. In the beginning, once you have 50 or 100 page views, you can create a lookalike audience from your page views, right? Okay. And now you can start to use that 1% lookalike audience. And in theory, if you have 100 page views of people clicking on your ads, well, at least you have something now that has converted 100 times. You see what I mean? Even if it's just a page view.
Right.
So now what you do is you go create a lookalike audience from your page view, and you go and use that 1% audience on the same creative that you had. And then in theory, this is what I do. And then the next step of the funnel should be, once you have a good bullseye on your, Facebook's like, oh, I see the type of people that are page viewing it. We'll go create an audience and we'll go show that to these kind of people. Mm-hmm. Then the next thing would be add to cart. Once you have 50 or 100 conversions on that, guess what you do? Go create a lookalike audience, come back, 1%, boom, now you're converting for add to cart. And then guess what's going to happen? When you get 50 to 100 initiate checkouts, guess what you're going to do? Same thing. And guess what? When you get all the way down to purchase funnel, guess what you're going to do? So that's the concept of layering your audiences down and using Facebook's algorithm to create your funnel from your traffic. So start with what you got. Don't always be optimizing for purchase because your pixel's not smart enough yet. But
that's really, thank you for that.
Don't be patient.
Finally understood how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the way that you can use the pixel to get you down in your funnel deeper where you want to live, which is in your conversion pixel.
Yeah.
Right. And then remember, what you're doing constantly then you'll create an offer that you will use to remarket to your page view audience. And you'll say, I want to market to my page view audience, but I want to exclude them once they buy.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you're just constantly showing the people who've been to your front page again and again. As soon as they buy, boom, maybe now you're sending them a different message. Now maybe you're saying, I want to market to all buyers that tonight my webinar is happening at 7 p.m.
Yep.
You got to create, your custom audience from that. So just understanding the concept of your audience in that funnel is super important. So if you're coming through for the first time, you're like, I have a new Pixel, I'm testing 5 different things. I don't have enough, my Pixel's not smart enough yet, so I can't use it. So I have to create the conversions that are going to be meaningful for what I'm testing. So link click status, run ads continuously, forget about custom dates, forget about day parting.
Okay.
Come down here, we have 5 things chosen. So this will be per ad set. So if I did $5, that would be $25 a day, assuming I chose 5 up there, right?
Yeah.
Each ad set will get a $5 budget. I would tell you to do 10. 10 is going to get you more data and it's going to get you there quicker. You have to let your ad set run for 3 days before you touch it. Okay. Now, if something's obviously not performing at all and you're not getting any link clicks on it or anything, it's probably dead. You can kill it.
Right.
But if you have, if one is clearly outperforming the others, then you can make a judgment call. But typically, I let them, everything I usually choose has some action on it. So I'll let them run. And then in day 3, you go back and look at them and go, wow, that interest is performing. And I'm going to, wow, that one. And so is that one. So now you have 2, and then you can eliminate that 3rd interest. And now you can go back in and create another ad set with the 2 interests that are working, along with the one that's, or test 2 more maybe, you know what I mean?
Right,
2 new ones.
And this may be a silly question, but there's no penalty for dropping off an ad set that maybe isn't working?
Not at all.
You're running your 3
Not
days?
at all. In fact, you just saved your, so that little ad set's like its own little state in the, you're just saying, hey, I don't want to spend $5 on this guy anymore, but I'm still going to spend $5 on these other 2. No penalty at all.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And so then once you get down here, again, links to, always just do link clicks. Just leave it the way it is here. And then this is automatic. This is the bid amount, and anything other than this is an advanced strategy. So just let automatic do it. And I skipped one thing, which I think is really important here, is when you're first coming out with anything, first of all, make sure your site's mobily optimized. Secondly, what I do is target everybody on mobile.
Yep.
All devices, right? Cheapest traffic out there. Make sure your site looks good and works on mobile. And then this is it right here. I live right here. And then once I get all my conversions and stuff, what I do is I retarget people on desktop. So then you go back up top and, I retarget them on mobile and desktop. So then I'd create a new ad set and I'd come down here and I'd go, if I have, like, let's say it's a form I want someone to fill out. Well, I know that I can capture them on their mobile. I'm going to create that custom audience of people. And when I go to retarget them, I know that they have to fill out an application, but I know they're not going to do it on their phone. So next time that they're on their computer, I'm actually going to land them on the page where it's going to say, finish your application.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm at my desktop here. I forgot to finish that thing today. I'm going to do it right now. So, and this is where you would use like a custom audience, right? So this would be like maybe page 2 of your funnel is the registration page. So you would know that at the top where your link of where you're going to send that traffic would be your registration page. And you would make sure that you target those people on desktop. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So,
and do you ever do the Wi-Fi thing as well? We play with that.
I don't. I've played with it a few times.
What about if you're doing a video ad?
Got a video?
Most carriers are, a lot of people you're cutting out all the people that are commuting or in the back of a car.
Yep.
Or, there's such a huge swath of people that you're cutting out that are probably pretty good potential buyers. So I don't feel like it's worth it to do unless you're going to do like a webinar, like a evergreen webinar where you want to make sure somebody's like stationary, right? And Wi-Fi would tell you that they're going to have time to watch this 30-minute webinar or something like that. But otherwise, if I had a minute commercial or a minute video or something, I don't care where they are, because most Wi-Fi carriers are pretty fast and
cool.
Yeah, true. And are you ever using the right column or the audience network?
So right column is typically a great retargeting method.
Okay.
You use that for retargeting. I wouldn't use it as an initial launch strategy of when you're doing stuff, because it's just a great place to retarget when people are at their computer.
Yeah.
But most traffic is mobile these days, and right column's still great, but there's not as much inventory for it, so it's a little bit expensive, but it's very effective in a retargeting method.
Okay. Yeah. And you're not using Audience Network?
I do. Sometimes I do. So, but when I'm first coming out of the gate and I'm testing, I don't want to do that. And also we have expand interest right here.
Right.
Remember, this is going to confuse people like crazy, because look what just happened to all my numbers.
Wow.
So what happens here is Facebook goes, my algorithm's so smart, it knows what's going on. Don't worry about the number anymore. We're going to just go out, and everyone's a potential customer based on their activities online. And where I'm saying is, okay, great. That's awesome. Facebook, you're cool. But I don't want to do that yet. What I want to understand is what exact interests my people are coming from. And so this is a little bit more of an advanced thing. I wouldn't do it until you have a good understanding of who your audience is. You've created some lookalike audiences. This is still kind of one of those things that is a little bit of a mystery for everybody in the advertising space, because it takes away all your key demos where you're like, okay, but whoa, that 128 million, that now you just don't know.
Yeah.
But
sure.
So
anyway,
don't just chase lots of numbers.
Yeah. It's not just about numbers.
I will report back on this as soon as I have more. I have another meeting with my Facebook rep here this week, so I'll jam with them. I'm always bringing this up, and their classic words are, we're going to take a deep dive into it and look at the stack and get back to it. When you know more, let me know, and maybe I'll start using it. But what else? So then we're down here, and then so if you did $10 a day, that'd be $50 a day. So if you're going to test 5, I would do something like $7 a day. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be 5 or 10 or maybe 8. Depending on your budget.
It doesn't have to be 5 ad sets either. You can have it as 3 ad sets.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you could have it as 2. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whatever you have it set to, it's going to be $5 a day. Like if you have all 5, it's 25 a day. If you have 3, it's 15.
Yeah.
This will just be per whatever you have up there chosen.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
And this is particularly because we're still in the fishing expedition at the moment.
Exactly. This is what you're doing to test your stuff, right?
Yep.
And you want to be a little bit more aggressive. More money means, you're going to get more displays, more action. Let Facebook, as you guys know, it performs differently at different times of the day, because we're online at different times of the day. So, for example, like here's one of my sites right now. You got going right now. I have 6 people on it. This is Google Analytics, obviously. So I'm, you'll see different parts of the country light up when it's 5 o'clock here. People come on the East Coast, and so Facebook knows, and so you might not spend any money for hours, and then they'll use your budget, a good portion of it in the morning or at the night, depending on when your audience is online.
Yeah.
So something to pay attention to. What else? Yeah, and then very simply, once you have everything done, you finalize your campaign. And then you just press build order, and magic happens, and it just goes, and our ad engine creates all of this for you and places it in your Facebook account. And here's your audiences up here. If people want to create their audiences here, you can create your new lookalike audience here. I'll get into that. We have it all here, so you don't have to go to Facebook and do anything. It just was in there, so I showed it to you. But I feel like I don't want to overwhelm everybody.
Sorry, I just thought that maybe one of the first things, as we talked about with the pixel, you were showing it in Facebook. Did you say you can do the pixel deeper levels in social ad smash, or is that only?
Yeah. So absolutely. What we're doing right now is let's see here. Looks like following events occurred. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys. We have one other thing to add on here. So just until we do it, and it's working now, but I just have one little thing. Here's what you would do. Just go into Facebook, and it does work there. The interface will look a little different, so I don't want to explain it to you guys today, and then tomorrow it's like, this looks different now. But it'll be. So the question was, So once you have enough data on your pixel, and then let's go to the, hold on here, let me go into my pixel. Right, okay, perfect. So you can see page view. This is, let's see, is this the last week, 7 days? Where do I, okay, all available days. Let me go to like today. All right. So today I have, how many views do I have today? Today I have 591 page views.
Mm-hmm.
I have 457 content views. I have 9 add to carts, 7 initiate checkouts segment, and then I have 2 purchases so far.
Okay.
I want that stat to be on our website.
It'll be there soon. All you got to do is follow the steps. You're good to go. This is your, you know, your traffic, but then you go up here and you go audiences. And this is where you create your audience. So assuming you have your Facebook pixel, and remember, once your pixel's in, your audiences will start to populate here.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you'll start to see, you know, if you go create an audience and I were like, okay, I want to do a custom audience. This is super powerful. And this is something you guys will use on anything you're doing, especially with video. You go down here to engagement, click that, and then you go to an event. Wait, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. What's up? Custom audience. I want to go to engagement. Oh, video. There it is. So now let's say we're running a video ad on your page post ad. You could go to that video and you could start to determine how much of the video. Typically, I say anybody who's watched 50% or over your videos a really good candidate. Anyone who's watched 7. So you could create different audiences for each one of these. So I would go 75%, and then I would choose the video that I want to. So I want, you know, anyone who watched 75%, and let's just say it was this video, I would just say confirm, right? And 365 days. And I would say the audience name would be very simply people who watched at least 75% of this video.
Yeah.
Now, guess what? I can go back and retarget those people who are very engaged people and create audiences like that. So there's, you guys can see, I'm showing you, like, I'm dipping in and out of like advanced stuff and beginner stuff, but
yep.
This stuff's awesome. What you have to understand first off is what's working for you. And if you, once you put your pixel in, just leave it alone, come back here and check and see. And this thing will tell you when it's 100, you're good to go.
Right.
Right. So look, I have a Canada non-buyers list going right now. So this audience is actually ready to go. If I wanted to create a lookalike audience off, I wouldn't create a lookalike audience off of non-buyers list. Yeah. But if I wanted to, I could, because Facebook's going, okay, I got at least 100 conversions here. It's not going to tell me if it has 147. It's just going to say, I have 100, which means it's good to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I'll go back here to create campaigns. This one, you know, and is there anything else you guys can think of right now that I know we've been on here a while, and I feel like there's so much I want to say. I just don't want to like overwhelm. I don't want to make people's heads pop.
No, it's cool. I guess just what type of ads you're putting on, like a selection of all of these. What are you finding is working? Why would you choose certain ones?
Yeah. So, okay. So for carousel ads, so here's another brand I manage. Okay. Here's another brand I manage, and carousel would be an ad that I would want to run for like bundles. These are bundles that I offer, right? So I would display 4 bundles. I would go back to, you know, so if you have a product, got like 4 or 5 products in a product line, carousel's great. And remember, you can still use all the interest targeting the same way. So now you're testing all your different bundles against your interests that you want to go out and test. So that's why I would use that one. Link ads would be if I'm just going to promote like a page in general, or maybe a product, but this allows me to be more specific and send people to an exact page. And if you haven't done a carousel ad, it's easy. Just walk through it. I would use a video ad if I wanted to test a video before I went and made it live on like a page post ad, or maybe it's like a special promotion like Black Friday.
Yep.
You know, and I only want it to run for an amount of time, and I don't want it to live on a page post ad because because why would I create it and then erase it? So I want it to be, when I want it to be gone, I just want to be able to turn it off. See, on a page post ad, you don't know what is going to convert yet. This is a great place to go and test the video with 3 different thumbnails, which I think I showed you ladies before. So that's why I would use a page post ad. It's very simple. You add your video, you add 3 thumbnails to it. Again, same messages, same headline. Everything else is the same about our platform. So that's why I would use that one. I'd say, okay, I have Black Friday coming up. It's a 48-hour sale. I'm going to spend $1,000 a day, and on these 3 thumbnails, and I'm just going to let it go, or $500 a day, or whatever I wanted to spend, and it would just like, boom! It would just explode on Facebook without me having
If we've done a Facebook Live and we're wanting to get that out again, is that the page post ad?
Yes, it is. So Raj, let's do that. I don't know if a lot of people are doing lead gen. This is kind of like, if you probably have a little agency and stuff, this is really powerful. All of the same concepts kind of ring true here, except for page post, where you obviously can't test different page posts. But what you are testing is the different audience, or you can promote that audience to a custom audience that you've created inside of Facebook. So for example, you guys, let's see here. Let me go to one that would make sense to you. So I'll just go to here we go. Go here. Go here. Go down to, this is cool too, guys. Obviously, Instagram.
That's working. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, crushing it here. But it's the same thing. You just click into it, and as long as your business manager has your Instagram account connected to it, it will pull up right here, and then you would just choose the, there you go. Select the Instagram account. It's obviously already, it knows that I've connected it, and then I would just go and, here's Instagram. Same thing. 5 images. Very powerful. Instagram's huge. But let's go to a page post ad, because that's what you were asking. So go back to campaigns, and then we go here, and then we're going to choose a page. We'll choose, oh my gosh, which page do I want to? I'll do this one. Decide my creative. And let's just say it was, this is going to pull up the top 30, but this one I've gotten 1,638 likes on, 125 comments, and 184 shares. So let's say I wanted to promote that one. I click on that, go down to the bottom, select your targeting. Guess what? Everything else is the same. So let's say that you had a video on your page that you wanted to promote, just like I showed you. You can remember, all you'd have to select is, if it's published, you do a published page post. There's a box right here right here, you saw it. Select published page post, an unpublished page post, or select by page post ID. I obviously published this one, so I'm gonna, that's how we got there. And then, sorry. And then the rest of it is the same. But what I was saying to you is, if you had created a custom audience, so maybe you had a lot of people that, well, you can do anything you want with that at this point. You can create a custom audience. You could have it go to people that have viewed a certain page of your website only. You could have it go to a lookalike audience. You could market it toward, if you have a huge email list. Something powerful too is creating a custom list. If you have like a huge email list of past people, you could load that into Facebook, and Facebook will match as many of the emails as they can. Typically, if you have, 10,000 emails, is a pretty good place to start. And I don't know if you use that. It's kind of an offline method. We're like, oh, I have this huge buyers list. I wish Facebook would know who they are. Oh, they can. I could load it into Facebook. Yeah. And that's huge. But
okay, cool.
So that's what I use.
Awesome. And so a page post is the only, this is my last question. Page post is the only place that you can engage Facebook Messenger. Is that correct?
Without going into the JSON
with the
ads,
JSON.
just purely with ManyChat, we've got the comment. So
Yeah.
we created a post that says, type yes to get Messenger. So would we do the page post ad as a posting engagement?
If you've already got it set, if you're using the JSON ad
No, it's not JSON ad. It's just purely the comments trigger.
Yep. So then all you'd have to do is go choose that post and select your targeting and put that same message in, because it will know that it's on that post.
And is that still called a link click then? So we go through as a...
Or it's depending on, for you guys, it would be traffic, or it'd be page post engagement. Remember, now you're on this type of an ad.
Engagement, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so let's go down to, let's just go down here, choose campaign. There you go, see, post engagement.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So when you pull up that product.
And what are the other options there?
Yeah, you do if you want. Yep, you can definitely do that.
So we definitely want the post engagement because we're wanting them to actually type yes in the comments.
Yeah,
so that means they've got to do something.
That's what you would exactly use that for that. Yep.
Thank you. That's a big help.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So,
well, ladies,
that's it. Yeah, I'll just
Huge.
finish off by saying that doing everything through Social Ad Smash is about 1 billion times easier than trying to navigate Facebook. So thank you so much for creating.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your time to go through everything today.
It's all good.
Little things that are confusing. What do we hit yes or no for this? Do we hit link click or conversions for this? Like, it's just the little things that make the difference, I think, to whether a Facebook ad is successful, and it's really important to know those things. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Ladies, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And if there's anything else at all that I can help you with, just let me know.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye from Mexico, right?
Bye from Mexico.